Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Yes, good morning, and thank you for tuning in. We have two people in the studio this morning. This is the first time we've ever had two people in my studio, so I'm excited to get both perspectives of the business owners here. We have Amanda and Danny Dean. They are owners of Fit to a T Promotions Incorporated, and they have been in business for 18 years here in downtown Commerce. So I'm going to turn it over to Danny and Amanda, and they are going to tell their story about how they started, what got them here.
Good morning.
Good morning. We basically started with an idea. Her working at the bank for many years that she did, we saw possibly a need for what we do, and we found one of her customers that had the equipment and needed to get rid of it, and so from that we went.
We had actually talked about doing this beforehand, and just general conversation, just kind of making light of things, and it being a funny thing that yeah, we could make t-shirts and sell for a living, and so it was kind of just a joke between us. And working at the bank one day, a customer that I banked walked in, and we were talking, and I was doing her stuff for her, and she said, I got to pay rent on this building just to store equipment. And I said, well, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of equipment do you have? And she said, well, I have screen printing equipment. She said, we used to do this, and we're no longer doing this, and we haven't been able to sell our equipment, and so I'm having to pay rent on a building. And I got her information and got it to Danny, and then they came up with a deal, and we actually bought the first equipment we ever had just from a conversation that I had with a customer from the bank.
And we had nowhere to put it, didn't even know how to use it. And that was in January of 2002.
I believe so.
Stored it in our milk barn at our mother-in-law's, and in March, the building that we're in came open, and I talked to a friend of mine that was in the business for, 6 years or so, Vaughn Hamilton. And he came and showed me how to print my very first order of shirts. And from there, it has snowballed. And when I say snowballed, it's been up and down. This is a business that you have to compete online with. It's a business that you may have this customer this time and may not the next time. But it just goes back and forth.
After we, Danny was informed and got some knowledge of how to do the artwork and take the artwork from a computer screen onto a garment, he still worked a full-time job at Southeast Toyota, and it was a very good job, and we were doing not very well, but making a good living, a comfortable living, with him working at Southeast Toyota and me at the bank. And so we would actually work our jobs, go home, eat supper with our children, and come back up to the shop to work.
Oh my
so
goodness.
we ran the shop part-time for how long?
Over a year. I did it working 10 hours. I'd go in at Toyota at 6, get off at 4:30, go home, and like she said, and UPS would have my stuff on the porch. I'd load it up while she fixed supper, I eat supper, and then I'd go up there and work till 10 o'clock or so. And we just built a clientele with that, and it got to a point that I was not at home at night a lot, because the point got to that she said, tired of you not being at home. And I said, okay. So we went to the state fairgrounds up in Hiawassee that Memorial Day in 2003, and a friend of mine had gave me a message from his church that was on tape, and it was from talking about stepping out of the faith zone or safe zone into the safe zone.
Faith.
Yeah, stepping out of the safe zone into the faith zone. I'm sorry. And
Ooh, that's scary.
yeah, so I've been at Toyota for 10 years at this time.
So you were pretty safe.
Yeah, I mean, and auto sales determines how well that was at the time. So it was a roller coaster ride. So I told her, I said, we're not going to know if this is going to work unless we step out and do it full time, or we just quit it. And that's been 17 years ago.
Wow.
So when you have two kids, one in elementary school, one in middle school at that time, that's a test of faith.
Absolutely.
And as you can tell, I hadn't gone hungry yet.
And we were extremely blessed to find our first employee that we paid a paycheck. Actually, Danny did not draw a paycheck for a little while. We lived off some savings that we had. So Danny did not draw a paycheck for a little while, but we were blessed enough to hire a part-time. At that time, I believe he was in high school.
No, he was just got out of high school into college.
So he was a freshman in college, and working and going to college and those kind of things. But we were very blessed to have him. He worked with us most of the time through his
Pretty
college.
much through college until he had to go to Marietta to the actual doctoring school that he went to. And his name is Dr. Kenny Bud Flint. He's Dr. Flint's son, and he was our first employee, and I don't think he turned out too bad. I trained him very well.
Yes, he still comes to the shop and tells these boys that have it.
Yeah, he likes to flex his muscles.
A lot better than he did. We at that time had everything manual, and were and had a makeshift wash station, and now we are a lot more. A lot of things are done easier, and so he likes to come tell these boys how good they got it.
Yeah. Well, you ain't lying there. So we'd have to wash screens outside in 20-degree weather. I mean, you had to wash them to be able to do the work. And we'd have the dryer going, and we would take a T-shirt, run it through the dryer, and wrap our hands up in it, warm it up, and then get them warmed up, and go back out there and do it. And but it's amazing to see where we were and where we are, and where we're still yet to go.
But while we're in the process of building up our clients and our customer base, we wanted to come up with a logo and something that would be somewhat unforgettable and catchy, but it not just be our name or
a tiger or a dragon or a panther or
Right.
a leopard. Nothing to, and then being close to Athens, there's all kind of dogs logos. So a friend, and then a friend of ours where we used to go to church at, who's a dentist in Danielsville, I was telling him about it. We were cleaning up the church property. He said, "Man, you need to come up with a muscled up looking frog." I said, "Yeah, that ain't bad." And then I said, "Yeah," and then that's where we decided, after talking to Amanda, I was telling her about it, and I said, what better way to use a frog than to put on there, fully relying on God? So that's what the frog logo is, and it's a way that we can use it as a testimonial figure too. So you wouldn't believe how many times people come up and say, or even at a Chamber of Commerce breakfast or any kind of events, "Man, what's that on? Is that a frog?" I said, "Yeah." "Why you got a frog?" "Well, let me tell you why." And which we're in the process of redoing our website, and but it tells the story of why the frog. Fully relying on God, and then it has a button. If you don't know Him, would you like to know Him? And you click on that button, and it take you through the plan of salvation. So we give everything we got and all the glory to God. We're not going to take any credit for it. We just try not to be in His way, because if He can use an old boy like me that ain't got much of education, as y'all can tell listening to me talk, and trust this business with me and then my wife as well. And then as we go on and talk about our children.
Over the years, we were able to withstand a lot of financial difficulties. I worked an outside job. I worked for the public for 18 years. Well, no, I'm sorry, 16, because I've only been at this shop for 2 years full time now. But we were able to raise our children, and we didn't give them everything in the world that they wanted, but we did give them
a job.
And yeah,
The best gift.
Yes, unfortunately, our children do know what it's like to work with others. Brittany has done an internship with teaching. She actually has an associate's degree to teach, but she chooses to stay with us. Our son has worked other other jobs.
Yeah, we made him work at Baker and Taylor one summer when she was up there after the bank closed up.
And his comment to me was, "Mama, I thought high school was immature."
Oh,
Yes, well, when you have 300 different personalities, you're
Yep.
going to have that.
Conflict.
But we were able to raise them and them, do not great, but very well in life. Brittany, our daughter, is our inside sales, and if you have a T-shirt and you don't know where that T-shirt come from or it has a name brand in it, she pretty much can feel of it and tell you what it is.
wow.
So she works very diligent to find T-shirts. We have several different companies that have several different warehouses, and sometimes you have to search each warehouse to meet what the customer wants. And so she is very important to us, and we are very blessed to have her with us. She's able to do all that and keep it in her head. So that's
amazing.
It is. She's incredible. And we do have her husband Ryan. They got married in 2005, and he is our head screen printer. And
2015.
I'm sorry, 2015.
We don't do arranged marriage.
Sorry. But he is our head screen printer. He is very knowledgeable of the screen printing process. When he came to work for us, he had not done this before, but he is very good at researching and finding new techniques that work and that save us money.
That's awesome.
And if something isn't working right on a shirt, he is not scared to figure out why and make it right. It is his craft, and he's told me that before. He said, "This is my art," so he takes a lot of pride in what he does.
And he's the one that also bakes, right?
He does
Yes.
bake.
Yes.
He makes some. He has perfected the cheesecake, whether it be a classic New York cheesecake. He has actually made me a chocolate raspberry cheesecake
Oh my goodness.
that is absolutely wonderful.
And me a sweet tater.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has made Danny a sweet potato cheesecake. He is currently working on perfecting bread. He is wanting to. He's making bread every night.
That's awesome.
And we get to test it. So he is working on that. He has a lot of training in the food industry and food service industry as well. Our son Dalton has been with us for, I guess, since he was 12.
Yeah, well, he's been with us since 2002, but he's worked ever since he's big enough, not old enough, but big enough to hold a pressure washer.
Oh.
But it's funny because, with child labor you can do different things. But he thought when he turned 16, he said, "I want to draw a real check." I said, "No, you don't." I said, "Because I'm paying you per screen right now." And he said, "No, I want to draw a check." I said, "All right." So we did, and then when he got his check, he was mad. He said, "Why is it less than what I was making?" I said, "Called taxes."
Oh.
So
That's a tough lesson.
But when he was 15 and 16, we made that transition to putting him on payroll. He's been a trooper. Both our kids have, and then Amanda will tell you more about Rebecca, who and Dalton is he's been able to do a lot of things from transitioning. He worked for Coca-Cola for a little while, and then that was a bad situation in itself. But I'm trying to get it to where we can put him in some sales, because I turned all the T-shirt sales over to Brittany. I still do all of the caps, because I can see a person with a cap on and tell you what that cap is without you taking it off. I'm trying to move him into more of that, but right now we're all just trying to stay afloat. But Rebecca came on, 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
2015 is when Rebecca came to January of 2015.
Where's the time go?
Is that how they met?
Yes and no. They actually met at church. Rebecca
Okay.
went to church with us, and so they actually met there. But and if y'all don't know, Rebecca and Dalton are now married, and I guess that happened. It fit to a T.
Not the marriage.
Not the marriage, but the love interest. The love interest, I guess, grew while they work together. But Dalton is transitioning into sales, and he also prints. So he is learning the garments and the
Awesome.
caps and the ins and out of the art of making a sale. He has a lot of his daddy's charisma, so it's going to be really natural for him to talk to people and make them feel like they are part of your life and part of your company when we sell them t-shirts. And Danny has that true gift, and Dalton has that also, very natural. He can talk to anybody. But that's what Dalton is doing. And Rebecca came to us, and she was 16 or 17 at the time. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But and she started out stacking t-shirts, counting orders, making sure they were correct.
Washing screens. Everybody's had their turn washing
everybody that's
screens.
worked at Fit to a T has washed a screen. That's a requirement. Yes. But that's where she started out, and she started out part-time. At the time, we had a graphic artist working for us named Jason, who was a true blessing to us.
He's actually the one that made our logo.
Yes, he did. He did make our logo. But Rebecca transitioned from doing some part-time stuff, stacking, washing screens, boxing orders, to working with him with art. And Rebecca is just a natural artsy person anyway.
Crafty.
Crafty. She can paint anything. She can draw almost anything. She's very, very gifted on the art side. So Jason actually apprenticed Rebecca in art and Adobe. A lot of people can do graphic art, but it takes somebody with the knowledge of actually screen printing to take the art from a computer screen to a garment.
Yes.
There is a whole process and some chemicals involved, and so Rebecca came in and she learned that, and she is now our head graphic artist. And if you see a T-shirt that we have done and the graphic on it is eye popping, it is because of Rebecca. And then her and Ryan may have to collaborate sometimes on how to make it look really great on the garment, and they do a lot of collaboration together. But yes, Rebecca is extremely talented, and her and Dalton was married in 2018. So we're very blessed with those. We do have some part-time people that we are very thankful for. We actually hired off the street for the first time ever in 2017. And we hired Devin Deadwaller, and we are very thankful for him. He is a college student. We have a lot of college students that work for us from time to time, just because we can work around their school schedule and their study schedule. But we are very thankful for Devin coming in. He come in and learned how to screen print, and has been really good. And that took a lot of faith to hire somebody off the street.
Well, the first one we actually hired was Brandy. Brandy came to us her senior year at Commerce, Brandy, and she's now a junior at UGA, and she's been with us, and she's one of them that picks up and goes right. She's one of them that comes into work that I don't even know that she's there till I walk through and see her at her desk. So, oh, hey, Brandy, she just comes in, goes to work, does her work, and I don't know that she's ever asked a question. I mean, it's just amazing how her work ethics and going back to all these that we've had working for us, we have been blessed to have kids that's grown up and have went on to be teachers. We've had 3 doctors that's worked for us. We've had a guy that's works for a big time insurance company in downtown Atlanta. One that's now in the upper management at Southeast Toyota. We have been blessed to have a lot of good kids that's come through now are raising kids. So in 18 years, I have to really think about it sometimes. We've been doing this for 18 years. And we've seen a lot. And we've been through a lot of ups and downs there. There's some times over there that we have been to a point that what I call a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
I have actually done what you call a prostate prayer.
I
I'm
can't say
saying,
it right.
Lord, we don't have a whole lot of work. This is due. This is due. We need this. We need that. and I just lay flat on the floor, and I would pray. First thing I would pray, God, don't let nobody come in here and think I'm dead.
Because that would be a rumor.
But, you know, no more than I get up from praying, the phone would ring constantly. People would come in. And it's truly a faith business because, like I said earlier, we have to compete with the world. And when I say that, because you can order online, but what you don't get on that online is this one-to-one or our customer service. I tell people all the time, I know we're not the cheapest place you buy you fill in the blank, what we do. But when we tell you we're going to do it and get it done by this date, we're going to do day and night to do it.
Absolutely. And that, I can attest to that personally. I have used y'all for my t-shirts and for my gift certificates, and I'm excited about the quality and the customer service, but also that foundation of a relationship. And you
we don't have
trust who you're
customers,
working
we
with.
have friends.
Right. And it's the same with my business.
And I have teachers, coaches all over the state, all over the county that they'll call me, text me, or we communicate other than just business.
Yes, I used to get a little aggravated when we were sitting at supper and he would either get a phone call or a text message from a coach. And so it took me a little while to understand that for Danny and me, it is the relationships that will continue to make our business thrive and grow. And Danny is just so gifted in knowing people and truly caring about people. We've had some coaches reach out to us the last couple of weeks. This has been really hard on them, not knowing what their season's going to do. And that's difficult for them. And they know Danny will take the time to encourage them. So it's not just about making an order of t-shirts or caps or signs. It is about building up a community. And people will remember that. And Danny is just very good at a very humble, caring person. I do a lot of numbers, and I'm by nature an introvert.
So we're going to switch here. Speaking of community, we're going to hear from our community of sponsors, and we will be back after the break, and we're going to pick up on what you were just talking about with everything that's going on right now and how that can be so effective in a small town. Hometown Business Review with Katie Griffin. I have Amanda and Danny Dean with Fit to a T Promotions in the studio, and they were the first segment. They were telling all about their story. They are a family-owned and operated business. They have been in business for 18 years here in the city of Commerce, and the relationships and the families that they have basically extended across this community is immense. And we're so grateful to have y'all here. We're so grateful for the influence that you have in this community and the heart that y'all have towards the people in this community. We are better because y'all are here. So thank you for all that you do.
Don't do that.
So we're going to transition into talking about your shirts, talking about what's going on right now. You have been doing the Hometown Friday thing with Huck's Cafe with Jamie Peters and Huck's. So we can talk about that, and then we can go into the COC Strong coronavirus idea that you and Jamie came up with also. So you and Jamie, y'all are just like a little powerhouse team. I love it.
Thank you. Yes, I love Jamie as well, and she is a small town, small business owner as well, and so that's kind of where I bounce a lot of my thoughts and promotions off of is Jamie. So I'm very thankful for her and for her business, Hucks. During the month of January, February, our business struggles just because the sports that are going on have already got all that they need. People are recovering from Christmas. School is out, so those checks are not going to be cut until they come back. And so we've known that for a long time that January and February is just going to be a very slow months for us. So during December last year, I come up with the thought of actually I found it because we were going to an away Commerce football game and was searching for a place to eat, and the place that we were going had a little local cafe, a lot like Huck's, that did this promotion with a construction company where the construction company gave their waitresses t-shirts to wear, and they promoted his business online. And I thought, well, we need to come up with a way to, yes, promote other small local businesses, but then also have some income coming in for us. So one afternoon when we were eating at Huck's, me and Jamie got to talking, and I just was telling her my thoughts on it, and then we communicated mostly through email or text message at how to form it. But basically the promotion is on top of an order that you do with us, and that order can be as small as 12 t-shirts. We do start our minimum orders of t-shirts at 12. Caps, I believe we can get any number of caps, right, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to make sure that we got, caps is a different story because you can do one or you can do 1,000, but you got to have that digitizing, which tells the computer what to do to the cap, so that's why that's capable of doing that.
So on top of an order, we communicate with Huck's, and we know, excuse me, we know what sizes she needs for her employees. So on top of that order, the promotion is a flat fee of $40. We do not charge sales tax on that because we're not selling them. We're actually promoting. So basically, you can get Huck's to be able to wear your t-shirt on a Feature Friday and be featured on all of their social media, as well as ours. And then also they tag your business through social media so that you can share it also. So you get a billboard being worn by both the shifts at Huck's, both the early shift and the late shift there. So you get that exposure, and then you also get the exposure of social media. And hopefully people will see that and they're able to click on that link and go right to your business. And it has been very successful. We have had some new customers come from that, but also we've had some customers that have been doing business with us for a long time, such as Trademark Medical, jump on that. And it has been really successful. Jamie and her crew has had a ball featuring the shirts. They enjoy it. I personally enjoy the glitter ones that her male employees get to wear. we kind of make that a joke, but they really don't mind. So for me, it's just a joke for me probably, because they really don't mind showing off the glitter t-shirts that we wear. Right now, we do have some Feature Fridays that will be coming up. We are contacting the owners that have done this feature with us, and just going week by week, because restaurants are closed to the public right now. You can do drive-through or takeout with them, but it's not getting the walk-in exposure that we really want it to get. So we're contacting each business owner and just letting them make the decision whether or not to go ahead and do it that Friday or to postpone it until some of this is calmed down and over, which we're praying is very soon. So that's what we're doing with that right now. Huck's will be wearing the shirts multiple times. It is not a one-time thing. They are planning on rotating those, and Jamie does a good job with keeping up with that and when they wear them and that good of thing, and posting on social media. She organizes all that. So I'm very thankful for her partnership with us for that, and it has been very successful, and we pray that it's successful going forward.
So you did make the stipulation that you will not advertise another restaurant.
We do have some things in place just to protect Huck's and also us. We do not print or we will not promote other restaurants just because we happen to eat at Commerce Burger. We love them. They're very good folks, and they got some really good items. But I'm not going to ask Jamie to wear Commerce Burger t-shirt. We just are not going to do that. There are stipulations to certain things that we will print just based on what ours is, and so that helps protect us also.
Absolutely.
From that. But we do have some guidelines. We do ask that we are allowed to print the t-shirts, and that we are allowed to have the customers that do business with us be involved in that promotion.
Which is very understandable. I'm thankful to see two businesses working together to promote each other and to promote so many other businesses in town. I know I have participated. I was supposed to do this Friday, but I was one of the businesses that she reached out to this week, and I was like, let's just wait, because this is all going to be over, and we're going to be better and stronger than before,
Yes.
and then we can do it. So, transitioning into that. So, y'all survived the recession. To put it in perspective, I graduated high school in 2006. So, my first year of college was when everything
Wow.
hit. Yeah.
Make me feel old.
So, like, as a business owner, this is the first, like, hardcore hit as, you know, someone who was self-employed. When that happened, I was working, I was teaching gymnastics, actually, in Hartwell as a college student. So, you know, you just don't understand my parents were greatly affected. My dad owned two businesses at the time, and one of them ended up closing the doors because of the recession. So my family was impacted, and that, you know, my husband's mom lost her job in banking. You know, everything just kind of shut down. And, you know, as college students, Mitch and I were, you know, new to the whole independent, living on your own type thing, and then everything shut down. So it kind of like rocked our worlds and rocked our, it almost, I hate to say this, but it almost like created this poverty mindset in association with independence. Mm-hmm. And I don't want people right now who are, you know, high school seniors or freshmen in college, and this is happening, I don't want that to happen to them as well. So, because we aren't, you know, poverty mindset is not, it's not of the Lord, it's not in any way a good thing.
No.
And when we are blessed, that means that we are able to be a blessing to someone else. So that's why I speak, you know, blessings over my family, so that we can turn it around and give it to someone else. And I know y'all believe the same way. So let's talk about what lessons y'all learned in the recession in, you know, 06, 07, and how y'all are applying that to the coronavirus.
Well, I being raised by a single mom, her being raised by a dad that lost it,
My mom.
her mom to cancer at a young age.
Mm.
This is something you learn as a child growing up, being raised like that. You ain't got nowhere to go but up.
Right.
You learn how to survive, and you know, watching your mom reach out and do what she's got to do, and her dad working 3 jobs. You know, it's all about, do you want to lay down, or do you want to work, or do you want to strive? But the main thing that you got to do is look to a higher power, and the higher power that there is, and the only one there is to me and my family, is God.
Absolutely.
So just, you know, you have to have faith. I believe truly and wholeheartedly that when this is over, oh boy, I mean, it's gonna be one great thing after another, and because the community's being stronger together, praying that the country unites and comes together as one.
Absolutely.
But
During the recession, it was very difficult because there wasn't events happening, 5Ks happening. There wasn't a lot of people doing T-shirts for VBSs. That would have been put off because Mom and Dad didn't have money for a T-shirt for VBS. And that was a very difficult time for the store. We actually cut some payroll, did what we needed to do. I still worked in a public job. However, I did work for a bank, and they chose to close the location that we were at, so I did lose my job. I was thankful that I was told in January that I would not have a job in April. So that did give us some time to figure out or make plans for our financial situation personally and with the business. I grew up with a dad who instilled in me, you work for what you get, Amanda. And we were cleaning restaurants when I was a very young girl, and I started vacuuming when I was 8.
Wow.
So there's not a job that I don't think I can't handle. So I was very fortunate, and I'm very thankful for Baker and Taylor Book Distributor in Commerce. They gave me a job, and they gave me a job at the beginning of February, and waited for me to finish out my term at the bank on April 15th.
Wow.
So I left the bank on April 15th and I walked into Baker and Taylor on April 18th, that Monday. And it was a job that I was not used to. I was in banking for 15 years. I sat behind a desk. I counted cash and I opened accounts. But Baker and Taylor, what they had opening was a book puller. And I took it and I worked not terribly long hours, but they were long enough hours to make my feet swell. So my husband was nice enough to fix me an Epsom salt bath to soak my feet in every night that I can get to. With that being said, it was a pay cut, a significant amount of pay cut. And I have during that time I worked so that we could have insurance because we could not afford private insurance. Our son was scheduled to have a surgery that summer, and it didn't get to happen because our insurance was not in place. At Baker and Taylor at that time, you did have to wait. I believe it was, I can't remember if it was 60 or 90 days before your insurance
I think it was 90.
went into effect. So we had to put that on hold, and thank goodness, thank God it was a surgery that wasn't life impairing, but it was a surgery that he needed to have a good life. And so we did put that on hold, and we put a lot of our spending on hold.
Now, granted, when this happened, you were talking 08, 09, our daughter graduated in 09. So
Wow.
she experienced some of this, and having the money for that, for that, and then her starting school and college and all that as well. Dalton, like she said, had to have surgery postponed, and then it got to a point that the insurance wasn't going to pay for it because of the hereditary that we have. And that's a whole nother story. The community came together and had a golf tournament,
Did they?
paid for it,
That's awesome.
and then some left to give others.
Wow.
So there's too many names for me to try to remember to thank for that, but they had a golf tournament and a silent auction that made well above what we needed, and that just shows too how God can provide through friends and community.
And you're right, Danny. This community here is very special.
Absolutely.
Very special.
I didn't go too far, neither did you, Rob. We're still living in the same town we were born in.
I'm right now, this second, I'm within 3.5 miles of the place I lived all my life until I got married.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
I can't imagine.
And there's a lot of folks like
Yeah.
this. We're not the only ones.
Well, I mean, when Eric Redmond had his accident, the community came together. I remember Caleb Jordan, your nephew, bringing a piece of art that he drew. And of course, back then, I had to do like I did back in my elementary school. Teachers would be very proud of me right now because I had an X-ray light that I set and drew the second color and colored it in to make that print, to make that radio print that they did for that car wash that him and Tommy Easton and Bug and all them did.
This community will come together. The only thing that I'm concerned about is if this continues to go like, for a while, let's
Yeah.
just say, I'm not gonna put a timeline on it, because I don't know what the time is, I'm not that smart. But if it goes too long, you're just gonna be looking at something that's unprecedented, even by Great Depression standards.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about that. That's why I wanna see us, you, Katie, all the people downtown, let's just get back to work. And I'm not trying to supersede what's going on with the government, I'm saying we
Yeah.
need to get back to work,
Yeah.
because after a month or 6 weeks, there may not be work to go back to if you're not really careful. So that's just, it's a fine line, and it's kind of like walking a razor's edge, but somebody's got to figure it out. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. Speaking of biting the bullet, we got to pay some bills. So we're gonna take a quick break.
And we are back with Hometown Business Review with Katie Griffin. I have Amanda and Danny Dean in studio today. They own Fit to a T Promotions in downtown Commerce. And we were talking about their story. We were talking about the deal that Fit to a T and Hux has going on called Feature Friday. And they were telling their story about, surviving the recession back in 08 and how they're using what they learned then and applying that today during the coronavirus outbreak. And Amanda called me up out of the blue and said that she and Jamie had been working on a new idea to help the businesses in Commerce. So if you are a waitress in the city of Commerce, then you basically are unemployed right now, because all the businesses, as of especially last night, the meeting last night, restaurants have been told that they cannot do dine-in services. Well, I don't know about you, but I waited tables in high school. I waited tables in college. And
I would go broke if I waited tables. I don't have that special personality.
well, I was a waitress at Applebee's in Commerce in college, so I understood.
goodness.
Like first, right out of the gate when you were telling me about this, I was like, oh man, you're right. If Applebee's shut down and could only do to go, then there's my tips, because you make like $2.13 an hour on payroll, and then you rely on your tips to pay your bills. That's what paid my rent. That's what paid my gas and everything in college. So I related to that immensely. But basically, if you're a waitress in the city of Commerce, you no longer have a job, because you're not waiting tables and you're not getting tips. So Amanda is, and Jamie, we're trying to figure out how we can work together to help these women and men, and bring in some kind of supplemental income, and work together as a team to show that support. So she and Jamie, if you want to take it from here, Amanda, and tell exactly how that came to be.
Yes, I'll try. We have not completely worked out all the details, but since we do T-shirts, and that is a specialty of ours, and we have an incredible graphic artist, I pitched the thought to Jamie about doing a fundraiser, that we can do a T-shirt and sell them online. We are blessed enough to have a platform where we can sell online, and either ship the T-shirts to you or arrange a time for you to come to the store and pick those up. And that's what we have decided to do. We came up with the design and the colors of the T-shirts, and Megan and Rebecca actually worked on this artwork together.
I did too.
And so did Danny. Let's not leave him out. Come up with the design of the T-shirt, and we are going to offer that T-shirt to the residents of the city of Commerce,
Community.
to the community of Commerce, to the community that anybody can buy and wear this shirt to show their support for the restaurant waitresses, and that do make tips off of us when we go to a restaurant. We should always leave a tip. I think that's an important thing to point out. But also with takeout, you don't think about leaving a tip for their staff. So we are in the process of pulling that all together. I am a stickler for checks and balance. That comes from working in a bank for 15 years, and I have been in contact with an administrator.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Who is going to organize the restaurants coming to them, and some criteria that will need to be met once the sale is over and we know what we have made off of the T-shirt sale. This again will help us get exposure, and it will help us a little bit. We'll make not a lot of money off the T-shirts. We will meet what we need to do, but also we plan to give that back to the community, because it is needed right now. And I also think that we need to spread some cheer,
Yes.
and not fear right now, and especially with the small business owners. Over the last couple of weeks, the phone has been ringing, but it has been ringing to cancel events. We rely heavily on spring sports, schools being in session, 5Ks that happen. We're praying VBSs aren't canceled, but we don't know right now. So we've been busy answering the phone, getting those phone calls. So for us, that's income, and that affects our payroll that we employ all of our family. It's going to be kind of hard to lay off your daughter and your son, or your son or your daughter-in-law, and we don't want to do that. We have implemented some stuff inside our business, and that starts with me and Danny, and then we have passed it on to them. And we told them that this is this week. We don't
Right.
know what next week will be. So we know that there is a need with the other small business owners. We know that they rely on people having money in their pockets to be able to go out to eat, and that's an important thing too. So we're hoping and praying that that the community will rally around this promotion that we will be releasing later on our social media platforms, and we have others that will be offering it on their platform. You'll be able to click a link and it will take you to the website that is ours, that you will be able to pick what color shirt you want and pay for it online, choose whether or not you would like it shipped, or choose a time that you will be coming to our store to pick that up. So we are blessed to have that capability, and so we're going to try to use it to spread some cheer.
So the front of your shirts that you're selling, and these are going to be the same shirt that is going to be purchased across the board. It's going to have the same front and same back, but like she said, different colored t-shirts. So the front of the shirt says COC Strong, and underneath that you see Commerce, and then it says Coronavirus 2020. And on the back it says, no one in this city, no one fights alone. So I posted a photo that I took. The deans are wearing the shirts today, so if you'll go on my Instagram or my Facebook page, Hometown Business Review, you'll see the picture of the t-shirt, and like she said, she will have a link available. I think it's a great idea to not only support y'all during this time, because like you said, y'all are a small town business, but to see a small town business who is hurting be willing to step up and say, hey, here's a fundraiser, let's help these other people out. And like I said, I know what it feels like to be a waitress and to rely on tips, and I cannot imagine the stress of having children and a light bill and everything else due, because those bills do not change. They are due, even though your employment status has changed. So I'm excited about the opportunity that we have here, not only for you and Jamie to work together and to come up with this, but to see how this is going to impact our community. And I want to encourage you, if you're a business owner, to think outside the box, just like you and Jamie did. This is a creative way to work together and to bring that encouragement to each other. That's what we need. The media is spreading fear, and I'm not in the business of fear.
No.
I'm in the business of faith. So we need to spread hope and cheer, and if you don't have anything nice or positive to say, then shut your mouth. No offense, but just keep it shut.
And one thing I want to mention, the recession that we experienced in 08, 09, and then this today, what we have done as a business to be consistent in that, and I believe wholeheartedly what pulled us through the recession in 08 and 09 is we rely on God. Our frog is not just a cute frog. It's not just a cute, catchy saying for us.
We live it out.
We live, and I'm not boasting, because we do not. The only thing I want to boast about is Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And He has supplied all of our needs, not our wants, but He has supplied all of our needs. So every week that we are able to stay in business and be blessed to have some income at the end of the week is a blessing for us. So that is first and foremost for us. And then also live within your means. And your means may change during this time. So that means you eat a peanut butter sandwich.
Absolutely.
Please don't eat peanut butter if you're allergic to it.
Get potted meat, that's always good. Potted meat, Vienna sausages, I love, still to this day.
Oh, now you sound like Mitch.
So you may have to do that for your family, versus eating a steak. But that can be done, and we are living proof that God does supply our needs, and He's always done that for us, and we have been blessed.
I can't go without saying, when I started this business, of course, it was just me working. But when I went into it full time and clientele started building, it got too much for me to handle alone. So I went in and brought in a partner for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, I don't even know how many years. Mark Fitzpatrick and I grew the business. And then in 08, 09, we had to trim the fat. Mm-hmm. And how we did that is we sold his wife, Robin, who worked for us at the time, the embroidery. And that's where she's got her embroidery. They closed in their garage, made her an embroidery shop. So that was one way we were able to help cut that out, and she grew her business from that.
Nice.
So, I got to give a shout out to Mark and Robin Fitzpatrick. They helped us get off the floor and all that. But we went into this, and still our mindset is today. We didn't go into this business to get rich. Anybody that works for themselves, you get rich, it's because it was just the way it worked out for you. We went into this with the mindset, we're not to make a killing, but to make a living. So we give back to schools a lot. We give back to churches. We give back to the communities. We don't have a lot of money, but that's how we're able to do it. We're able to do it through discounting T-shirts or giving church discounts. So I just had to get that said before we have to get off there.
Your business is your ministry, and we appreciate that as a community. And like Amanda said, she's going to have a link so that if you want to purchase the T-shirt to support your city, you will be able to do so. And if you are a restaurant owner and your employees are experiencing unemployment or the loss of tips, basically, because all dine-in restaurants in the city of Commerce are, it's takeout only now. I shared a list of businesses in the city limits of Commerce that are takeout only with their phone numbers, so you can call ahead and pick it up. Check out my hometown business with Katie Griffin Facebook page.
We had supper from Cream and Sugar last night.
Did you?
I do. I want to give a shout out. It's kind of ironic how it happened. I called Leslie late Monday because we just had a hectic Monday of contacting some vendors and some different stuff to work out some stuff for our store, and didn't lay out any supper. I said, well, I'm going to call Leslie. Well, unfortunately, I called Leslie too late. It wasn't Leslie's fault. It was mine to pick up supper. And so yesterday I was on top of it. I did call her. But then we were also blessed by another small business owner who was experiencing the effects of the virus. She walked in with our supper.
Oh.
And so we had 2 suppers. So we actually shared one with Brittany and Ryan. But I'm very blessed that I have a relationship with other small business owners who cares about me. And who cares about, yeah, we had a rough day. I had shared with Brandy Meadows up at Victoria Grace that it's been a rough week for me.
Right.
It had been discouraging, and she brought us supper last night, and I'm so thankful for her heart and for her reaching out just to cheer us up in a time of this is a little rough day. We know God's going to make it through us, but I was having a difficult time. And so I reached out to her, and she gave me some encouragement and reminded me of some verses that are important. And that's what we need. We don't need to let fear of what could happen grip us, that we're just stronghold to it. We need to understand that there is a hope on the other side of this.
And don't forget that churches are still having church. You may have to watch it on your phone or whatever, but I can't say enough about my church, Maysville Baptist Church, the churches that we serve through, the Jefferson Church, Southside Church, Erastus Christian Church. God forgive me for anybody that's listening and I miss your church. I'm just trying to hurry so Rob can get back to the ones who pays his bill. So we do give discounts to church because God allows us to do that. And so we're praying for everybody. We're going to get through this. You know why? This didn't take God by surprise. He already knows what tomorrow holds. So that's what my faith is in. So.
And you had said that Maysville Baptist Church is offering food.
Maysville Baptist Church will be having a food drive April the 2nd. Please go to their website for more information. I'm sure that Miss Judy Clay is taking in consideration of the social distancing. We normally have people come in to get that food, but I'm sure she's got something in place. So if you will, just go to the Maysville Baptist Church website to look in on that. But they are offering boxes of food on April the 2nd, and then also giving some resources that they know of that can help later on down the road.
And there's the Jackson Banks Food Bank here in Commerce. You have to show proof of residency in either county, but there's a list that that a Banks County organization put together of all available food banks in the area, and the list is ridiculously long. That is on my Hometown Business Review Facebook page also. If you need help, if you're local, Cream and Sugar is offering boxes of food for free, no questions asked, for children who are hungry. And like I said, just reach out to Cream and Sugar. They have a Facebook page and a website. get on my Hometown Business Facebook page. How can we get in touch with Fit to a T?
You can always go to our Facebook page. Right now, our website is being revamped and revised. We took advantage of some downtime, and Rebecca's revamping that. But you can always go to our Facebook page, and also you can email us, Danny at fit2atpromotions.com or Amanda at fit2atpromotions.com.
Or the good old-fashioned way, 706-423-9661.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much for being on the show today, and thank you for your encouraging words. Right now, we need them.
Thank you, Katie.
We will be back in the studio next Wednesday morning, 8:05 to 9:05. Hometown Business Review with Katie Griffin. Thank you so much for listening, and y'all stay safe.